Finally!
Authentic frontier gibberish.
It's mind-boggling to you, yeah.
If I can be serious for a minute.
Punch some people in the face.
Copulating with wild women.
Might need to tone it down. Just
tone down what?
That's a good question.
Because we are class.
I don't even know who you are.
And you are trash.
Mid!
Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise, boy, I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now.
Welcome to the Mid here on A Plus Productions, where we talk all things sports, entertainment, also known as wrestling. And this week we have a very special show for you. It is, well, could be a very sad weekend as John Cena's final match is happening this weekend against none other than Gunther. And here on A Plus Productions, we like to, you know when you're trying to sweeten someone up, you used to go buy the CD or a tape, and you used to record some sweet little nothings with some music, a mixtape. Well, we have a mixtape for all of you on John Cena's top 5 matches. I am Boris Roberto Aguilar, and this week I am joined, as always, with Hutch.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic. And the brainchild of the mixtape idea, he is A Plus Productions UK counterpart, Yorkie. Yorkie, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
We just found out, like, this is my first time meeting you, Paul. Yorkie. Yorkie, what do I call you?
You call me Yorkie, it's fine.
All right, I got to call you Triple York because we already figured out before the show that you've got, like, 3 reasons to be called Yorkie, not just one. Like, this is amazing. All right, so I'm going to call you, might call you Triple Yoke once in a while just for fun. But what time is it over? How you feeling over there? It's like cold? Late?
It is cold, it's wet, and it's midnight.
Amazing. Well, it's cold and wet and snowy here. God, my house is cold. They got this little like heater thing here because the room I decided to do this in with you, Boris, turns out now that it's getting cold, it's the coldest room in this bloody house. So no fun.
You just can't win. You just can't win, my friend. If it's not a baby, then you're cold. What's going on in your life?
Wonderful. And speaking of can't win, we're doing the John Cena like mixtape thing that like Yorkie's brainchild here. So depending on what era you're in, if you were a John Cena opponent, you also could not win.
Exactly.
Cena.
And that is
Cena
the thing. 23 years, and it all comes down to this Saturday on Saturday nights. Made me just remember. In the USA, it's on Peacock, and in Canada, it is exclusively on YouTube. The amount of people I know who bitch and complain when they go to Netflix, where's Saturday night's main event? Well, it's on YouTube because they like making life very difficult. But gents, 23 years, right before we get to the countdown of our top 5 John Cena match, Hutch, John Cena, summarize. What does he mean to you? And like, what does this week kind of like mean? It's very rare that we get this type of conclusion, this type of send-off for someone.
Well, if you had asked me this yesterday, what does John Cena mean to me? I might have rambled. Shock. But I wouldn't have really known. I wouldn't have thought about it. You asking me to do this, like I've never done a top 5. I don't do these kind of like best of, tops of, worst of, and I certainly wouldn't be doing it on John Cena if I had. So I had to think about it for a while. And what does John Cena mean to me? I now have a huge affection for John Cena. But John Cena, it's funny that he was like, I'm going to ruin wrestling, like during his like this pseudo heel turn. Because in reality, for a lot of people, for 20 years, John Cena kind of did ruin wrestling. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know if I would have put my finger on it, but it was around that time period, 2001, 2002, 2003. I started getting out of it a little more. All of our favorite stars are disappearing. You've got your Lesnars and your Ortons and your Cenas and, the prototype kid. And I used to see him and he looked really, he looked like the quintessential wrestler. And then he was coming in, ruthless aggression, John Cena, quintessential wrestler. And then smashing him over and the whole, white guy rapper thing. And even though he was good at it, it wasn't something that kept my interest. And Cena was certainly never my guy. And then he became too cool for school, man. Like, you could not get a win over him. He was annoying. There was a period of time where he was in many ways a plague on the business. And now as I look back, I see that I have grown alongside John Cena. The nexus, squashing the nexus, John Cena does not exist anymore. And it slowly started happening.
I kind of feel the same way. Like there was a period in time I thought he was, when I was younger and he debuted and the whole rap gimmick, I thought it was hilarious. Right, it was one of those things in time. But as he became the guy, and he was really the first guy that Vince really went out of his way to shove down our throats, regardless of what the fans wanted, what they thought, etc. It kind of left a bad taste in your mouth. So for years and years and years, I really didn't care about Cena. And there was a period between all of that when, certain things happened in real life in the wrestling world, and I stopped watching wrestling for a few years. So I missed some of Cena's career. But when I came back to watching wrestling, he was already kind of more of a part-time, more part-time more than anything else. But over the past, year, because it was in Toronto back in 2024 when he announced his retirement for this year, I've done a lot of thinking, and it's like, this guy has done it all, whether you like to admit it, whether you like him or not, and that is absolutely okay. That's the beauty of pro wrestling. Yorkie, same question to you.
I don't know. I was just listening to what you just said, and it resonated. I'm one of these people that didn't realise that John Cena was getting forced down my throat, if you know what I mean. I was watching it, I'm like, I enjoyed the rapper gimmick. Because I've seen the clip of his first match, with Kurt Angle, but I don't remember watching it back in the day when it first happened. I didn't think it. I only saw him as this Vanilla Ice wannabe thing. And then there was that, I think it was that match at Survivor Series where he wanted to be on Team Him, and then he ended up on the other team. You remember that guy? Remember that? Where he was like all the big guys, Brock Lesnar, Matt Morgan, all Mark Henry, I think. And Cena, when Cena turned face. And I think that's the beginning of when Vince was pushing it. But to me, it didn't click. But I recognised it when it happened with Roman Reigns. It's weird that I didn't see it happening with Cena.
See, for me, it didn't seem like...
Yeah, go ahead.
It didn't seem like he was getting pushed down our throats at first. It took a little while for, I think Vince to even believe in it and whatnot. But it was when they decided to turn him face, and then the doctor of Thugonomics went away. It became Jorts John Cena. It was like a corporatized, cleaned up version of it. Like, I'm just trying to think of something off the top of my head. Like, I guess, what was that movie? Hutch, the movie where he's like a superhero, Will Smith, and then he's like a scumbag. But then they decide to make him, and he has to wear the leather suit and stuff. That's the version of John Cena. It wasn't Hutch. It was some other.
No, I think it was
movie. Right?
I think it was Hutch, actually.
Yeah.
Was it called Hutch? I thought that was.
I think so, something like that. But with John Cena, it was the release of the Marine. That's when it was very, very noticeable that Vince is pushing this guy down our throat, and that's when he went to the George character, right? Started doing the salute on his entrance, etc., etc., etc. And then we got loyalty, hustle, respect, John Cena, right? There's been so many iterations of John Cena. But again, at the end of the day, you can't deny what he's provided to wrestling and, pop culture right now with Peacemaker and so much more.
And of course, the sales, the merch sales, he was wrestling for so long. But for a long time, in my opinion, John Cena kind of ruined wrestling. A lot of guys would, there's people that had gripes with John Cena and his attitude, Otunga and Tyler Rex and just people who would be or Alex Riley. There's people who might be dude, that dude ruined my freaking life. And I feel like John Cena has looked back and realized I was ego-based. We could talk Firefly Funhouse match, tearing him apart, your ego, your whatnot. But we'll get ahead of ourselves. But John Cena is a character. He's matured and changed over time. He's gotten to a point now where he's self-aware enough that he has given back more than needed. And I feel like he went from taking himself seriously to realizing that being the butt of the joke and helping others it's like being in Hollywood. You start to realize that when you're the butt of the joke, you're the star of the scene. When you're always beating everybody and you take yourself so seriously, it's not nearly as fun as when you're more like Darby Allin. Darby Allin can do no wrong. And if he won the world championship tomorrow, nobody would bat an eyelash. But he's lost his 5 freaking matches or something. But it doesn't matter. John Cena realized he could be that. It clicked. US Open Challenge, losing to people. It all clicked, in my opinion. But
Excellent, excellent. All right, so here on the mixtape, we are doing a top 5. Yes, there probably will be some repeats, and that is okay because we each have our own list. We will also, if there are too many repeats, we got a couple extra to share with you, but we are going to start the mixtape of John Cena's top 5 matches according to Hutch, Boris, and Yorkie. All right, Hutch, I'm going to let you start this off as you are the newest member of the mixtape crew. You know, I like just throwing you under the bus like this. So,
I
Hutch,
mean, like, I can handle it, but, I want to make, like, wait, you're up here? There you are. I'm going to pull a Colt Cabana. Hey, you, sir, this is your idea. You made me spend, like, an hour and a half watching John Cena matches and, like, actually a lot more than that if I think about it. Some of them actually.
Only 3 matches then.
No, I was like, then some of them go like, so there was a few where, I didn't have to watch the whole match, but then there was a few where I sat there and I'm like, oh, Johnson's amazing.
All right, Yorkie.
Yeah, you're first, buddy.
All right. I'm not going to go with the obvious. I really should, but I'm not because.
Wait, are we doing like 5 to 1?
We'll start at number
like,
5.
Oh,
5 to 1.
Oh boy.
Bro. Bloody hell, I'm going to get a pen.
I don't know if I've ranked mine.
No, I don't either. I've just picked 5 matches that I really like. All right, let me get some paper. I have no paper now.
As you can see here on A Plus Productions, we're always fully prepared to the nth degree. All right, there we go, Yorkie.
Right, okay. I am gonna go. I can't remember which one it was. When it was. It was in the UK. It was John Cena versus Shawn Michaels in the UK. It was after the WrestleMania match. It was just.
It was just the greatest match ever in Raw history. Maybe even
was that the
perhaps,
55-minute?
Yeah, dude. If it wasn't for commercials. Like if they had done that match at WrestleMania, I think that would have been the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, period. But it was not the WrestleMania match. It was on this Raw from the UK, and it was inundated with commercials. And because of the time change, it was weird for people like Boris and I. You had to avoid spoilers and so it was a different feel. But yes, that match, perhaps one of the greatest matches of all time. Yeah, not a bad match.
No, but I still have matches better than that. So
there you go. Okay, dude, but still,
there you go, Yorkie.
Perhaps one of the greatest matches of all time.
Funny you should say this match. April 23rd, 2007, non-title 55-minute match versus Shawn Michaels. This is also my number 5 match.
Really? All right, so guys, tell it to I think I gave you my reasons why I don't think it can be amazing. Like unless they're releasing it on YouTube without the fades to commercials and all that stuff, because I don't think there's a version of it out there. You show it to me maybe. But as far as me going back in time to the moment I saw it, how I had to ingest it, and the fact that it was kind of non-title, Sean could have had the title and then lost it even a week later. He's one of those Darby Allin types, man. He could have won it and then lost it, and But you two, tell me why it's your number 5 match.
Because it is a 55-minute Raw match.
Yeah, that's why.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, purely because I have matches better than that. Me personally, I'll tell you what, I actually think that should be my number 4 because I've just remembered a match that
all right, well,
do you know what? No, you need to put your number 5 in.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess so. And then you can just go straight back to you. We'll do we got a little circle here, right? Yeah. My number 5. Well, I hadn't really put them in order, I guess, but I guess my number 5 would have to be Elimination Chamber 2015 against Kevin Owens. And it's more than just the match itself. It is a great match, but it was the fact that he bloody won. This was kind of the beginning of John Cena starting to really give back, starting to become self-aware. Yes. What I was just talking about before. The US Open Challenge was a great way of giving back and trying to be out there. I'm not a part-timer. I'm going to give you great matches, and I'm going to instead of being the Cena of old inside my brain, I'm going to let my opponents dictate the matches. And instead of having a John Cena cookie-cutter match, I'm going to have my opponents' matches, and John Cena is going to be in it. And from those U.S. challenges on, a lot of the best technical wrestlers in WWE ended up having their best or second best match of their WWE career against John Cena. Because of John Cena's mentality, he can be molded, and because he's so simple, he can fit in and shows that he really can. You can't wrestle, unfortunately, is not true. He can wrestle. He's the Triple H. He's the guy in the match with the guy who draws the money, even though Cena is the draw. But I think you see where I'm coming from. And the Kevin Owens match was the culmination of that. It was a long time coming with the U.S. title. Sami Zayn, he had lost to John Cena, and then Sami Zayn gets destroyed by Kevin Owens, and then Kevin Owens comes out with his NXT title, steps on the US title, and then goes into Elimination Chamber, and like right up to that point, it's all awesome, and you all know what's gonna happen. John Cena's gonna beat Kevin Owens, and then he didn't, and Kevin Owens not only like from the indies, but also like the look, the fat dude with the shorts and the shirt, and just nothing you would not expect, and the bits of Triple H before Endeavor and TKO, I think, ruined him. Like that was when Triple H started to think like, I can book, and I can do it. And he was getting a bit of that in there, you know? So that's my number 5 match. Yeah, good match.
Funny you should say that, because Kevin Owens Elimination Chamber 2015 is my number 4 match. You know, everything that you said. And for me, it was kind of a change in paradigm in WWE. Kevin Owens, in my opinion, was the first indie darling from NXT to make it to the main roster and actually do something in the main roster. He left an impact right away, and I think that, you know, as awesome as Kevin Owens is, he is one of the best in there. You have to give John Cena a lot of the credit, because what John Cena helped him do, he created something special for Kevin Owens right from the get-go, and that's why. Not only that, but the match was fucking fun. I had a lot of fun watching this match. So yeah, that's with everything that Hutch said, plus what I just mentioned, that's why this is my number 4 match.
It changed the atmosphere in WWE. And that's like, John Cena is a catalyst for that. You know, like go John Cena, Cena sucks, like back and forth. He's a catalyst for that kind of stuff. Like, he can change the atmosphere in a match. The Elimination Chamber, when he got pinned early, like suddenly everything changes. Or SummerSlam with Sting and Ziggler, like when Cena got eliminated from Team Cena, like suddenly that entire match, the whole atmosphere in the arena changed, the desperation changed, your view of Ziggler changed, like Sting coming in meant so, like it's John Cena, by doing almost nothing, can change and affect so much. And it can be like, I have lists of matches here that are not on my top 5, and the reason they were on my list originally were because of how much he can affect things, you know, like One Night Stand. Like, it's amazing in hindsight how much power the man had. Super Cena, really, he is a superhero. He's superpowers.
You know, it's funny you mentioned One Night Stand, because my number 4 is John Cena versus RVD One Night Stand 2006.
Beauty.
Yep.
The way he went into that, I've never seen. I knew it was going to be I think it was mainly the crowd, because the crowd made that match. But I've never seen Cena handle a crowd like that, with the reaction being the opposite to what he's used to. He knew he was going to a hostile environment, and the way he dealt with it was just.
It was great, you know.
The shirt throwing was brilliant.
Oh yeah, and like even like when he started to do that, like same old shit, like those chants, like that was great. You know, it would have been on my list if this was a top 10, but there's reasons like I would have had a list of the times that Super Cena was like giving Cena, like Sim Cena, like the times that he gave to people by losing, and it meant so much. Like, you could not have had that match with anybody else. But the main reason.
Go on, sorry.
Main reason it's not on my list is I don't like Edge being such a huge catalyst for the ending of the match. And also RVD, unfortunately, you know, if every time you hated a match because of what happened right after, there'd be a lot of matches off everybody's lists for everything. But yeah, like, I don't know. It was great and all, but it probably could have been a little bit better. And I never thought the line of like, the only reason you were champ is because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesday nights. Everybody thinks that's such a diss. I thought it was actually kind of a pretty lame line. It was like, and
I love that one. I love that line.
Yeah.
So this is one of my honorable mentions. Didn't crack the top 5, but yeah, this one was just great. This is one of those things that just, you know, it's the crowd. Sometimes the crowd just makes the difference, right? It's like Rock Hogan. As good or bad as that match was, the crowd fucking added to that match and made the match what it was.
You know, Yorkie, if you had walked up to me on the street and said like, hey, blah, 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 you know, hey, but just question, what's your top 5 John Cena matches? And you like forced me, I would have picked all immediately when I first thought about it before I started researching. They were all matches where John Cena gets his ass kicked and everybody's like ravenous at the idea of hating him. And like there's a good 3 or 4 matches where that like those matches are amazing because you have the right to hate John Cena and everybody can't wait to hate him. And so those are the matches I think of first. So there goes back to the fact that John Cena can influence so much because of who he is. That match, even if you just wanted to watch it to hate on him, you've got enough to dine all night.
There we go. Number 3, Hutch.
Well, did I do my number 4?
No, you didn't do your number 4. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Do I even have a number 4? Well, what do I do here? I just don't know which. I have them all written down here. All right.
Oh my God, you have
I'm
notes.
excited.
I have notes. I have notes today. I actually did some notes. I guess I would have to say maybe Lesnar. Well, we'll just go with it. Who cares what order it is? Lesnar against Cena. SummerSlam 2014.
SummerSlam?
Yeah. Mostly because it's what they should have done at Elimination Chamber. Like, that was a great match. Only, like, I can't believe John Cena won. And that would have been the only time John Cena's beaten Brock Lesnar, was that weird match where he got destroyed and then ate him on some steps after he'd just come back. And he did that damn jump out of the ring. Like, Lesnar was like, it was like a whole new world opening up again. It was like, holy moly. Like, Lesnar was so fresh, and then he lost. But the squash, the big squash, it was supposed to be Daniel Bryan. And if it had happened to Daniel Bryan, we might not have liked it as much. It would have still been cool, I guess. But being Super Cena, getting destroyed, and like the birth of Suplex City as a t-shirt and a phrase and as a lifestyle, like everything for like the next 2 years, and just in general, it was such a shock, and it's what they should have done. And it's once again a time where John Cena losing and giving made such a huge difference. Every time John Cena decided to start doing the right thing and pull that old school John Cena 20 years of bullshit out of his ass, we got great stuff. And this is another example where he's like, yeah, the plan we had with Bryan where he just gets squashed, yeah, I'll do that. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
Great.
This is a great match. This is a great match. This is another one that I was going to add to my
You're watching
list.
it like...
Was going to be an honorable mention.
You're just watching this match wide-eyed like, oh my God. Sorry.
Because it was the first time that, like, you saw just total domination, like, and it was especially with Cena, right? Like that was the beauty of it, the art of it. All right, number 3. I think this is the last one that I have of Cena actually winning. This is Royal Rumble 2017 versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. One of my favorite matches. This is when he tied Ric Flair 16 times being world champion.
That's your number 3.
That's my number 3.
Wow.
Yeah. My number 3, gents. I know I have different thoughts, different opinions sometimes. I just like this match a lot. So this match, the other reason why I really enjoyed this match is this was the first Royal Rumble that my little nephew watched wrestling with me. So this is, he just loved, he was in awe of everything. So that I distinctly remember watching it with my brother, with my nephew, with my sister-in-law. And this was a big one for me, just the memory, nostalgia, personal reasons.
Awesome.
Can I say my number 3?
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Because I was ready to jump in before. So I was like, Hutch is like the perfect leading man. I was like, yes, he's so mentioned about Daniel Bryan. I'm like, that's my number 3. John Cena versus Daniel Bryan, SummerSlam 2013.
Great match.
Yep, 2013.
Obviously, everyone remembers it for what happened after the match, but I still think that was a great match.
Triple H and stuff.
Yeah. But it was still such a great match. And I think it was then when I was like, oh, well, I knew about a couple of years beforehand, but it was probably then when I was like, he can actually go.
Yeah. It's another match where John Cena uses his magic wand and affects everything around him. John Cena picked Daniel Bryan for that match, right? And there's all the stuff of reasons of why he picked him. He puts him over hard in the match, lets Bryan do all of his like moves and stuff. Then as soon as he loses, he just leaves the ring completely and lets Triple H do his thing with Randy Orton, which really kind of burns us all and kind of starts the yes movement. John Cena starts the bloody yes movement, for Christ's sake. I mean, because we're
Sheamus started the yes movement.
Was it Sheamus? Wasn't it Sheamus?
No, it was Sheamus at WrestleMania. because obviously he lost in like 13 seconds at WrestleMania, and then the night after, the UK it was the UK fans, they started doing it. They took over the whole night after Mania, didn't they?
Yes, you're absolutely right. You know what? Often when I think of Sheamus doing that, I always confuse it with Roman Reigns, where they put him over in the same way they just did with Orton in the match we're talking about here. But the bottom line is, like, this is like, okay, that was before WrestleMania 30, though, right? Brian had, okay. So that is, the yes movement itself might have started before that, but it was like no and yes, and it was Kane, and like, was it Kane and stuff in the tag team?
It was Kane. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like after that. That was where he beat John Cena and was champion, and they came in and screwed him. And it was after that he was B+ player, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I mean by like that's where.
I do apologize. Sorry,
if I'm correct, it's okay. A lot of this stuff comes off the top of my head. Like, you can tell me I'm wrong, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, you're right. I'm wrong. Sorry." And I've been thinking about this for an hour, and I was wrong the whole time. Like, I don't really do research. I kind of today was actually spending an hour on the internet. Hey, my mind is a steel trap, Boris. It might be a bit rusty. But no. But as far as I know, that this was the beginning of getting all the way to WrestleMania. Of like, no, it's not going to be Batista and Orton and all this stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, It's amazing how John Cena is involved in so much, which made me go from like hating him to like loving him because I'm being forced to. You know.
But this is the thing, right? Like, when you think of Cena, even when he was a B+ player, he had influence in the greater stories that led to major milestones like Daniel Bryan in WrestleMania 30, right? Like, it's crazy when you think about this. My next pick is all about Cena being involved in people's stuff.
Well, I haven't told you my pick. I talk so much, you guys think I did my pick.
You're going.
Well, my pick number 3 is your pick number 3, Boris.
Fucking stupid, man.
Sorry, we should have let you go after me, and then I would go with him.
I just realized I've swore. Sorry, I do apologize.
No,
that's okay.
Don't worry about it.
Before you started talking, I was thinking, I should have kept going, because then I would have been with Boris. But hey, dude, whatever. Feel like if they've tuned out, they've tuned out already.
No, it's the fact you just ranked that match. I'm fuming that you both ranked that match mid. Like,
why?
Mid.
Why is yours? If it's for you, if it's number 1, then there ain't no problem with that, pal.
No, I'm just fuming. I'm like, it is the best Cena match you could ever.
It was my first. I'll tell you, it was my first. And the reason that the other 2 matches I have in there, I didn't want in fact, one of them I used to hate the damn match. So anyways, I will tell you why it is in the hemisphere of the greatest John Cena matches of all time. You know, it has to be in the top 3. And you know what? Gun to my head, I think I'd rather watch this one than the other 2. So there you go, Yorkie. If somebody said, yeah, which one of these 3 you got to watch for the rest of your life, I'd be like, oh, look, AJ, forever, put it on loop. Okay? But this match, it's a year after his debut. You know, he's like just gotten the stink of TNA off after like 3, you know, he's been champ for what, like 300 or more days since beating freaking Ambrose. Cena wins his 16th title here. It's the culmination of the trilogy. I think maybe their match, the previous match to this, which is was that SummerSlam? Was it Survivor Series? It was SummerSlam. Okay.
Survivor Series.
I think that might have, it was a Survivor Series. Okay, because the first one, the interference. The second one, man, you did not expect him to win that second one. So it gives you that same feeling from the Kevin Owens match, where you're like, man, he won again. But because it's the culmination of the trilogy, he gave back. But also, this match was a very John Cena match. The previous 2 matches was John Cena trying to do an AJ style matches, give him stuff. This was an all John Cena match, and they did not leave the ring once in this match. I was just going
to say that's one of my favorite things about the fact that they didn't leave the ring.
Yes, and it's like during the first match before he wins the title, I'm sure Vince isn't quite sold on him, and then he gives him the title. And now by this time, Vince is all in on AJ Styles, and John Cena winning his 16th and then giving it to, I guess, Bray Wyatt or the Fiend, and then on, and like, it was a weird convoluted period after this, but it was a monumental match. And if I had to pick, like, you have to watch a match by yourself in a room over and over and over out of my top 3, I think this might be the one. So you're not wrong, Yorkie, man. It's one of the greatest matches of all time.
Yeah. It really is.
Mr. TNA against Mr. WWE, and they show AJ shows that John Cena is a great wrestler. You know, they don't have to do any of the gaga, any of the stuff. They just put it on the line, and they throw back to the other 2 matches, the amount of falsies and back and forth, but it wasn't too much. I don't know. It really could be. It started as my number 1, York. It's an amazing match.
I don't want to say my number 2 because it might be yours 2 number 1s.
Well, yeah, well, we've all said number 3 now, and if we go back to the original
No
order,
one
it's time for you to tell us your
will be
number
able
2.
to guess my number 1. I think.
My number 1 is, well, you already know what my number 1 is. My number 2 is, wait, if you know what my number 1 is, you know what my number 2 is because it could only be one of the match, and that's Money in the Bank
Punk.
2011, CM Punk.
11.
Yeah.
It's John Cena going into a hostile crowd.
Is this your number 2, Boris?
This is my number 2.
Okay.
And I just think he just knows how to feed off the crowd that doesn't like
This
it.
is it. You know what it is for me? This match is what I was like, you know what? John Cena is one of the few people that can go into these hostile arenas. This hostile, it's not the 40s, it's not the 50s, it's not the 60s where you can get stabbed. But, it's a new era, and a lot of wrestlers would have gotten rattled. A lot of people would have been rattled going into Hammerstein Ballroom, going into Chicago. A lot of people wouldn't have been able to do what Cena did and still put off amazing matches. And I think, like, as a match with Punk, this might be one of his better matches, up there with AJ Styles, the one we were just talking about. Like, the crowd, when we talk about star ratings and and how much you like a match, I like bringing the crowd into it. The crowd adds so much, and how can you not talk about the crowd, the Chicago crowd on that night?
Yeah, man.
It's one of the loudest pops I've heard in wrestling.
Yeah.
When CM Punk's music hit, I was just like, wow.
Well, my number 2 match is John Cena against CM Punk at Money in the Bank 2011. The same as you gentlemen. And it probably would have, like, the only reason, like, the reason I would watch the AJ match is because AJ and Cena are, like, flawless together. In this match, there is actually a couple of, like, botches, and I don't always think that CM Punk is the most fluid wrestler in the world. But this match, man, it's not Mr. TNA against Mr. WWE. This is like Mr. Indies against Mr. Corporate. This is the first 5-star rated match Steve Meltzer gave out since 1997. Both Daniel Bryan and Edge have gone on the record to say that this is the best WWE match of all time, which is like, maybe they might dispute it now, but 2011 was not a good year for any of this. Like, all there was Punk. And, like, if you want to just take the match on its own as a match, fine. But I mean, the pipe bomb is wrapped up in all of this, and Punk in the crowd, like, this whole summer of Punk and all of it. Like, this match kind of saved, like, wrestling for me in a lot of ways. This was like, ROH was starting to stream. You could get it, like, regularly in a lot of places. New Japan was, like, hot, and John Cena had just, like, killed off the Nexus, was being Super Cena everywhere, and we wanted change so bad. And CM Punk came in, and the crowd, like, this is one of the first times where you feel that CM Punk Chicago crowd. You'd felt it before, and we felt it since, but, like, that night, that was as strong as we've ever felt it, and it was kind of the first time. And, like, it wasn't just we love CM Punk, which you get in Chicago a lot. It was we love CM Punk, and we hate John Cena. And when the Punk music ended, and it's like a theater where, like, the one guy can yell something out in a theater, like, because suddenly this crowd that was just, like, going bonkers, it was, like, quiet. And then they hit the John Cena music, and, like, you can feel it through your TV, man. It's, like, intense. And, like, I don't blame them for botching. This is probably the most, like, viscerally, man, this moment for them must have been intense as hell. And Punk leaving with the belt and kissing, and then him coming back, and us hearing Cult of Personality for the first time ever, and you just know he got everything he wanted. He did it. CM Punk effing did it. And then he did it so bad that he was on the line to the point that he got, like, bursa and had to, like, leave. His whole life got ruined. Yeah. But he did it. And, like, yeah, man. This match probably would have been my number 1, except I've had to, like, go with a match that I hate for my number 1, because I am the angel and the devil.
I love this. Oh, the drama. I'll go before you to end my list. Number 1, This match gets looked over quite a bit, maybe because it happened earlier on in Cena's career. Well, it kind of happened right, the first quarter of it, I guess. It was one of his greatest rivals. It was an awesome home series in the summer of 2006, and it is the match that I watched live here in Toronto. TLC match versus Edge, Unforgiven 2006. This match, everything we had said about the Chicago crowd, the Toronto crowd was just like that. Wasn't as loud, it wasn't as angry, but the hate for Cena was insane, and Cena just handled it, and he just did his thing with Edge, and it was probably one of Cena's better stipulation matches, but, you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, he did end up beating Edge for the title in Toronto, and yeah, it was just being there. I just remember, it's especially like, you know, this is the first major show in a long time in Toronto. I think this was the first pay-per-view since SummerSlam 2004. And yeah, people just wanted Edge to win so badly, and they hated Cena so fucking much. And it was a fun TLC match in an era where we weren't getting too much. And this card overall, I did enjoy this card because this was the return of DX when they introduced when McMahon and Shane had Umaga on their side. They introduced the super tall Hell in a Cell. Trish Stratus's last match happened in this match. So the culmination of Unforgiven 2006 was Edge, Cena, TLC match, and it was just a fun match, and this is why it's number one, because it's and there was a lot of things going on in my personal life at this time that I always remember this match, and it's very near and dear to my heart.
Well, like having a match that is one of yours because of where it was and when it was in the period of time in your life. Hence the reason why your number 5 match, Yorkie, why I was like, it's not on my list of bests because of who I was and where I was and how it affected me. You know, like if you were there at that show live, then that's probably the greatest match that you ever experienced. But for me, watching it hours, almost a half a day later, and with all these commercials and already knowing who won, it wasn't the same experience. But Edge came to town. I've read Edge's book recently because I'm doing a little video on his book, and he won the title, but he won the title using the Money in the Bank, and he was thinking to himself like, all right, they're putting the confidence in me, but then they took it away from him right away, and they made him do a match that was like, it's like being typecast like an actor. Okay, we're gonna do a TLC in your hometown, and you're gonna lose after only having the title for a short period of time, and like
for a month.
For him it was like, you know what, this was like a tease, this was bullshit. But it was the beginning of Edge, and they took it away. They didn't let us win in his hometown. But I did have a short list of like matches that John affected, like I was saying, and yeah, the heat that he got, which that was great. But that's not it's certainly not my number 1, bro. Maniac.
And like I mentioned, also, the match at SummerSlam a few weeks before was in Boston. So that home and making both guys lose in their home arena was always something that I'm like classic. Effin' Vince. Anyways, number 1, Hutch. What is your number 1 match?
I want my number 1 match to be AJ and Cena from just recently, right? Because
the one in Saudi.
Yeah.
Sorry, Perth.
Yeah, we all think it's Saudi because it's Crown Jewel. Thank you. Yes. I want that to be it.
I was. Do you know what? Until someone reminded me that it was actually in Perth and not in Saudi Arabia, I was all ready to boycott watching it. And then someone said, it's in Australia. I'm like, oh, watch it then.
Yeah. Like we all thought that too. We're like, but it's because they gave them Royal Rumble and all this other stuff. So they're like, hey, we got to move one of your shows, right? But anyways, like I already had the AJ match on there, but this match is like an art piece. It's like the real life version of the Funhouse Firefly match. It could be an AJ Styles retirement match. It's like having cheat codes on the whole time. But like, if the more you watch wrestling, the more this match was for you. That like when you got to recognize stuff. And even though Brock beat Cena on this like tour, it felt undeserved. By the time AJ was like, while they were getting near the end of this match, if he had won, it wouldn't have been the end of the world to me. I'd be like, yeah, let AJ win. Let AJ win, and this be the catalyst to him going into his last year or something, But the only reason it's not is because I have the other AJ match on there, and I knew I would talk about it anyways, and it's not like this top 5 list is going in stone or anything. But I used to hate the Firefly Funhouse. When it first came on, I didn't even watch it. I like turned it off and went and had like food or something. And I remember trying to watch it again another time, and I didn't want to watch it. But since then, it's kind of become everything to a lot of fans. Like what this match could have been if it was in front of a live crowd and they'd done all this kind of stuff would have probably still been cheesy. But it's the culmination of Cena being self-aware, like coming of age, and being able to look back at himself and make fun of himself and be the butt of the joke. And this match was for like everybody that loved John Cena. It was for everybody that hated John Cena. And he knowing that he ruined wrestling for us for a long time. It was such a schmuck. It's like a way of saying we are sorry for 20 years of Super Cena. It's a love letter to him at the same time. And it's like it started as it's a love letter to the fans. It's a love letter to Cena. And now, after the fact, now that Bray Wyatt is dead, you look back on it and as an artistic piece and as one of his most talked about and revered matches, which almost has no athleticism. He's not using any of his skills as a pro wrestler. He's using his skills as Bray Wyatt, the man, as the creative genius. So now, in hindsight, it has now become a love letter to Bray Wyatt as well. And
his
I hate this match. Yes. I didn't want to watch this match. Pandemic, John Cena all opey, coming out doing his actor stuff when he was not a great actor. I hated everything about it. And now years later, it could be perhaps the greatest cinematic match of all time. It could be one of the greatest matches in John Cena's career. And it could be, without a doubt, be the most artistically self-aware, tongue-in-cheek, love letter to all of us. And honestly, at a time when we were all watching wrestling in a vacuum and in a pandemic, and where they were able to get Jey Uso over because of what you could hear them talking in the ring, it was a completely different way of coming at it. And now, after the fact, I don't know if I really enjoy watching it. I would want to watch one of these other matches first, but it has to be on the list of the best, and it might even be the best because of that.
There you go.
And if you say you disagree with me because you think it's a piece of shit, then throw that AJ match in there instead, okay? Now, that was a Frankie Kazarian move. It was not an Adam Page move.
Love it. No, that's an awesome. I'm glad that someone did bring up this match because that was also on my, my reserve list. Yorkie, is there any other match you want to call just to call out for this mixtape?
I have two. I think
all
people
right.
should check it. I had one.
I had two as well. See. But I went with Firefly.
I think John Cena versus Sami Zayn in the US Open Challenge was out, especially with Sami Bray. Did he dislocate both his shoulders?
Dude, he went for surgery and didn't, it was rough.
But he still had a brilliant match. And the other one that I still remember, I want to say it's New Year's Revolution 2006.
Is this when Edge cashes in at the end?
The very first cash in.
Yeah.
Because
Puerto Rico, great match, this one.
Well, purely because, right, I remember watching it. It was one of the very rare times that me, my brother, and my dad were sat watching the pay-per-view. Usually it's just myself watching it, but all three of us were sat watching it. And it got down to the final three being John Cena, Carlito, and Chris Masters. And straight away in my head, I'm like, well, I don't need to watch the rest of this match. I know who's winning. Because if this was peak Super Cena, I'm like, fuck's sake, why can't you let, I don't know, can't remember where Barrett, no, anyone. Well, someone else was in the match. And I'm like, why couldn't he have stayed in the end, made it more believable? And anyway, he ended up winning really quick. And then I got up. I was fuming. It was a period when I smoked. So I went up to go outside and have a cig. And next thing you know, Vince comes out. My brother's shouting, Paul, come back in. Something's happening. I'm like, what? I run back in, and he goes, this match isn't over yet. This night's not over yet. We have one more match. John's in the ring. He's like, what? I ain't got a clue what's going on. And then Edge comes out, and I'm like, and have you ever had that tingly feeling all over your body? Like, oh, something good's happening. It's like, this is brilliant. Excuse me. I've never seen him. That reaction when Edge won, I was so happy. I was like, thank God something good happened. Because I was so angry that Cena won that.
So is that your official number one, or is that your AJ match for me? What's your real number one?
My number one is AJ, but I mean, for me, it was one of the. It's one of the Cena matches that I remember in my head constantly.
Oh, that's right. You already told us your number one from before. I remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'd forgotten. You could have gone right ahead with this as your number one. I would have rolled right with it. No, man, there's a lot of matches. Like, I didn't have that Edge match that you were talking about, Boris, on my list, to be honest with you. But there's like lots of great matches. Punk against Cena on Raw, where which led to Twice in a Lifetime, which I hated. I mean, they should have had a schmoz or something and had a triple threat at WrestleMania. The Punk didn't need to go against Taker, but it also led to Punk like getting more jaded and having to figure out what to do with himself. But like that match itself was a great match, and like. Was it Mania? Was it the triple threat where it's like Triple H and HBK and they're looking at
Survivor
John
Series.
Cena?
That was a Survivor Series.
And then HBK like waffles him with the super kick and Triple H is out. And then Cena's like one of the first times we see Cena face where he's like,
Yep.
And I think, the Money in the Briefcase Cena face is one of the first times we see that, and that was great. And I love that version of HBK, the heartless cutthroat HBK, the one who comes out from under the chamber and super kicks the Undertaker. that one where you can see the bags under his eyes. And you're just like, because he's been staying awake at night thinking about how much he hates you. That's Shawn Michaels. That's great. But yeah, there's a lot of like amazing matches that Cena being in the match makes the match. Like that's the reason why it's a great match. Not because Cena's great, but because he's in it and you want to see somebody fuck him up, man.
I still think about Rey Mysterio versus John Cena. Do you know that night when Cult of Personality was introduced? That match, I think it was still great. Obviously, it'd been better if Rey won.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, it was a way of giving Rey. Rey can now say he's a former WWE World Champion. It's like I feel like they just wanted to do that for him. But I remember hating it at the time. I'm like, why is Cena get it? Like, Rey, why are you getting right away? And I like it was like literally after he won it. Like he had a match right away. It wasn't even like a week later. It was like the same show, right?
Rey won it at the beginning of the night and then he lost it by the end of the night.
It's like bastards. Didn't they just do that to Cena in the match you were talking about? And that was like a heel move. And now like, well, we're supposed to cheer John Cena, but they knew that Punk was coming back and this would just make you kind of hate Cena more. Like as a promoter, man, there's been times, like, oh, this guy can't make it. Okay, well, we'll let the crowd know that we're doing this match instead. And it's like, no, don't tell them till the end. They're going to boo. Even if you tell them Hulk Hogan's coming to replace Buddy, they're still going to boo when you say, so Buddy can't make it. They're all going to boo. Doesn't matter who you say is going to replace him. You've now gotten everybody to boo. You don't want that shit. So, yeah, there's a lot of subtleties.
Another match is just coming. I'm going to reel off matches now because there are other ones that's coming to my head. Remember when Straight Edge... No, it's John Cena. Never mind. Sorry, I was thinking of CM Punk matches.
Yo, there was one point where I was thinking about all of the AJ matches and the Daniel Bryan match, and then I was like, oh, but didn't Daniel Bryan? He had that great match against him, and I was like, because I was thinking about all of the Brock Lesnar matches, and suddenly I'm putting Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar on my John Cena list, and I was like, oh wait, no.
That Survivor Series match was fucking great. Daniel Bryan and Lesnar.
Yes, and it's like they let Daniel Bryan do his thing, whereas if he
he was a heel. He was a heel. Yeah, Daniel.
Exactly.
Oh, that was brilliant.
He got to get something. If he had had that match 3 years earlier, like he was supposed to in the John Cena spot, he would have just got squashed. Right? Come on. So yeah, it was great.
I love how just like John Cena's career, we just pivot to other people.
Pretty much, yes. But that's like the last half of John Cena's career has been giving back, and it's great.
Exactly.
Would you rank that street fight up there? Him with Cody Rhodes, the street fight.
Maybe. Like, are you talking about SummerSlam? Like, I have a list here. Number 6 on my list is Cody Rhodes against John Cena at the most recent one here. But like, there's more to talk about there. Like, and the reason it's not in is because they should have done Cena turning heel at WrestleMania, and it wouldn't have even been a real heel turn. It should have been like I can't win, but I can't lose. I have to lose. It's like the same way that Stone Cold took the chair from Vince. Just freaking die, Rock, die. Okay, I'm the champ. Like Cena needed to have that moment, but a little more like internal battle, and then like getting mad at the fans, and then even if you had to go with the whole shake your hand, you know what, I'm wrong. Thanks, you kicked my ass. You kicked me in the ass, Cody, and I'm right. And you're going to, the way that he turned, they say, I'm not heel anymore. Sorry, guys, we made a mistake. The way he did that promo with Cody. They could have even still done that if they just had him turn at Mania. But great match. You're right.
Yeah,
it's a great match.
Absolutely. All right, gentlemen, this is it. The John Cena mixtape. Our picks are locked in. A Plus Productions, where you can find all of our shows. Go to your favorite podcasting app and search for A Plus Productions. We want you to be part of the conversation. Facebook.com and search for A Plus Productions. Hutch, where can we find all your lovely, beautiful, sexy videos?
You should check me out at Hutch Henry's. I should start putting like Henry's at the end of my name here so people know how to, like, I'll just put at Hutch Henry's. At Hutch Henry's on all of your social media platforms and everything. And you, Yorkie, when we first got on here, you were like, oh, you don't look anything like what I thought you sounded like. That means that you are listening to the podcast, which Boris likes. But you're not watching the podcast, which I like. So, like, we're going to start a war here. Maybe you could just watch it and listen to it at the same time. Do us both a favor. But yes, please go to YouTube and check some stuff out. I recently did a video, what if WWE crushed AEW, based on like the possibility of Netflix purchasing Warner Brothers Discovery, when at the time it looked like the Saudis or somebody else might have taken the win. And now, like less than 3 weeks later, Netflix has the win. So my video is rather topical. So go check that out, all of you people.
Awesome. We will be back next Monday on KPHR Hamilton, talking all things wrestling of the week that was and the week that will be. But until next time, we thank you so much, whether it's the first episode or the 100th episode. Muchas gracias. But most importantly, stay tranquilo.